Fenders, start your engines!
Welcome everybody to the TDR Vets and First Responders League. We're here at Richmond tonight. I'm joined in the booth by Tommy Aber, Jay Donham, and in-car reporter Bradley Hunt. Jay, how you feeling about tonight, bud?
Good. Everybody, welcome to Richmond. We saw the professionals yesterday take this track. Tonight we got the Vets and First Responders kind of doing a two-peat. So it should be fun and exciting. Short track racing. I can't wait to get tonight started. What do you think, Tommy?
Oh, Richmond again. How much rubber will be laid down and how important will that be? I think tires tonight will be the deciding factor. We've seen some guys who can save them, some guys who can't. And I think tonight it's going to come down to that.
Absolutely. The tires are definitely going to play a big factor here, as you see a few guys starting to get loose, and they're going to get some rubber on that track. It's a rough surface, so it's going to scrape that off, and plus that D shape along the front is going to definitely scrape some tire wear off of that, and give them heck going through turns 1 and 2, and possibly coming out of 3 and 4.
Yeah, you can see all the marbles up there about by the wall already on the track here, about halfway, just a little over halfway through practice. Quick update from pit road. Nicholas Smith will not make it to practice, but he should be here in time for qualifying.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing him out there as well, as we got 9 drivers on track tonight, possibly 10, as we get this night rolling along. And as we sit, yeah, there you go, on top of the leaderboard, we have Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thompson, and Andrew Biznett, who has been quick. He's been 3 and 4, but he's been showing some speed tonight, as he's only about 2/10 off the pace.
Yeah, he had a little bit of pit strategy that cost him last race. He was sitting P3 the majority of that event, ready to bring home a podium, and it just didn't quite happen for him.
And we look at Mr. Gaiman there, Jeremy Gaiman. We thank him for his service out there in the Drabo 09 car as he's getting his laps in. And Devin Zimmerman showed up tonight. And there you see it going into turn 1. That's exactly what we were talking about, that D shape, trying to well it down. You're going to get that a lot tonight.
Yeah,
what do you think, Dustin? What are your thoughts tonight?
I've always loved Richmond as a track. It's a fun track to drive. I think we're going to see some fun, close racing, and that's what these short tracks bring to the table.
Yeah, you said it right there. Short tracks. This is the first true short track that the veterans have been to this season. We're going to see some bumping. We're going to see some banging. Who are your picks for tonight? Who are the ones you want to watch?
Didn't have any thoughts tonight.
Biznett was showing some speed earlier. I mean, I've always pulled for Biznett. I think he can make a run for the money, but you always got Ryan Shelton, Zimmerman, and Ethan Thompson, the top 3 drivers that we watch a lot. But my pick would have to be Biznett tonight.
You're liking Biznett? I like Biznett too. He's been showing a lot of speed lately. But there's one underdog that I'd like to point out, and that would be in the 5th position there is Robert Cochran. Robert Cochran has been showing a lot of potential this season. He's been in the top 5. If anything should happen to Ryan Shelton or any of the top 3, then I think it's going to be Robert Cochran's night.
I've got my eyes on Christopher Rawlings. Runs the series part-time, doesn't have an opportunity to chase that W every week. I think this week he's going to be hungry, and he's going to be my pick to take it all home.
Yeah, he's another one that's good. And it's good to see him out here. So as we bring him down, there's your pick right there. Christopher Rawlings gets a little bit loose and heads up in that wall. But hey, that's what practices are for, right, Tommy?
Absolutely. If it weren't for practice, I wouldn't have any clean laps at all.
Well, that's all of us.
All right, so what are your odds on seeing a caution here? We saw 2 last week. That was the broadcasting curse brought on by Andy. We didn't see anything at the WWT Stadium, where a lot of people got the bacon and a couple of people didn't take home the bacon. So where we got tonight, looking at a couple of stripes here at Richmond, or do you think it's going to be more like the inside wall kiss?
I think we're going to see a lot more action on the inside than the outside. This track really drives like like a short track. They're going to be fighting for that inside line. We're going to see some guys get loose trying to make passes, but I think a lot of the spins are going to end up down on the flat spots.
So, you got any picks for tonight? Who do you think's going to? How many cautions do you think we're going to see tonight, if any?
I don't know. We didn't see very many on Sunday when the big boys came here to Richmond, which has been unusual for the next gen cars so far this year. I'm going to say 0.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say 2. I think we'll have a couple early cautions, letting these tires get warmed up and getting these guys in a pack. I think we're sitting with 11 on track right now. Be different when you get in the pack to start out. You never know if somebody spins the tires. Somebody that qualifies at the top few spots gets loose coming out of 1. It turns into a mess. You know, I'm gonna go with 2. Is what I'm saying. I'm going 2.
All right, I'm going to go with you, Dustin. I think there's going to be two, and as you said early in the beginning, there may be one late if they get one in the beginning. There may be one later because they're only going 55 to 65, as I've heard the driver say, fuel run. So if they can stretch it out, 55 to 65 is what we're looking at for laps. 150 laps tonight, so there's definitely going to be 2 pit stops involved tonight for sure. Tires are going to be premium, maybe a little bit of a tire wear at the end, and whoever can hold it out, at least making it to lap 60, 62, will have a better shot, I believe, at going on the win.
Yeah, these guys are all looking real dialed in out there. You could throw a blanket over the top 10 easily.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, this will be a fun show seeing these guys on the short track. I mean, I've always looked forward to short tracks, even in the top circuits. We'll see what happens tonight. I mean, to me, it's anybody's race. I mean, we all made our picks, but to me, this could be one of those wild card races that a couple people have some problems, and you get Christopher, Cochran, and McDonald that are sitting right in the middle of the pack right now that could come out with the victory tonight.
Absolutely. I love good short track racing. It's driver style racing. It's very challenging. That's why I like it. The only thing I don't like about short tracks is that pit entry. And I think pit entry is going to be crucial here.
Oh, definitely. Pit entry is always challenging on a short track, no matter what track you go to, Bristol, Richmond, Martinsville. They all have that unique, every track has its unique pit style, but pit entrance and exit. It's going to make that really interesting, especially since we're going to have 2 stops tonight. If we get the early cautions, we'll see if anybody gambles on taking tires and stuff early. It'd be interesting at the end of the race to see what tire wear kind of was at this track. I mean, we all know Richmond does eat up the tires, but these next gen cars are a whole different animal.
Yep, absolutely. Have we checked in with the YouTube yet? I see we got a couple people chiming in with us.
Sharon says, "Let's go, Jeremy." Jeremy's #1 fan, I think.
Yes, sir. Every week.
She also did say, "Good evening, everyone. Don't know how long I'll be on. There's a very bad thunderstorm rolling through." Sharon, stay safe where you're at, and
yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah, Sharon, stay safe out there. That's one that just rolled through here. So yeah, I got it down here probably about an hour or so ago, but it's rolling through up there now where she's at. So
yeah, we got some coming through tomorrow.
then Brad Hunt, our in-car reporter, saying let's go, and Andy Bisnet chiming in from the car as well. Can't wait to get this started.
yes, Christopher Rollins now pulls a fast lap there to 22.757. So he's 0.3 of a second off of Ryan Shelton's 22.497. So it's going to be a close field. There's just about all of them are under that 22 mark. 2 are over the 23. Steve Agree, Bradley Hunt. As they're just getting into the sessions now, once they get those tires heated up, maybe in the 22 seconds. But everybody is within 1 second of each other so far out for practice.
Yeah, that's my pick there in the 0-1, looking real dialed in right up on that wall, man. He's not here every night, but he sure is making a show of it right now.
Absolutely. It's good to see everybody out here tonight as we got 11 cars. And I think we're rolling down to the 3-minute mark, and you know what that means, Mr. Abear. It's time to pay the bills.
It is. It is. What would we do without all the money we have for this fancy equipment?
We'll start with B&B Wraps.
Yeah, B&B Wraps. You can find them at facebook.com/b.b Racing Wraps. From coffee cups to semi-trucks, they can put a vinyl wrap on anything. We actually just had them wrap a race car that'll be running around the Indiana, Anderson. I think it's Anderson Motor Speedway and a couple tracks out in that area. Top-notch stuff. Next day shipping, very fair prices. B&B wraps from coffee cups to semi trucks. They can get it wrapped for you.
McConey Setup Shop.
McConey Setup Shop. I say it before and I'll say it again. I'm a gentleman who needs no introduction. And that being said, everyone knows what McConey Setup Shop is, the quality of the product. I go on about it week after week. Right now, they have a contest going on. Submission date is April 8th. You have to get your entry in by April 8th. Go to McConeySetupShop.com/contests. They're having a contest to design a glove. And if you're one of the winners, they have some prizes. You can win some free gloves from their glove or apparel sponsor. So McConeySetupShop.com/contest. Go submit a design and see if you can't win something from them.
Back Charities.
Back Charities, as I mentioned before, they've used B&B wraps. They're currently on the back of a race car. The driver they're sponsoring this year actually got a few cups together with some pamphlets and stuff in them for the kids to go to the track. So huge pleasure working with John this year, helping us further the mission of providing non-toxic environments and mental healing through gaming. Backcharities.com.
Back Talk. Now, this is a podcast that me and a few other guys have started. Andy, Justin, and Tony and myself are in. It's gonna be a fun little talk about pop culture, sports, you name it. We'll be talking about it. Looking at launching hopefully in a couple weeks. Feel free to check it out on our on Back Sports, this channel right here, and on Apple Podcasts as well under Back Talk. And that includes our sponsors for this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe here so you'll be in the know when Back Talk comes alive, or Talk Back. Is it Back Talk or Talk Back?
It's Back Talk.
Back Talk.
Talk.
When they go live here on Back Sports sometime later this month.
Talk Back was already taken, so we went Back Talk, because I think we'll be back talking a lot to each other. We had a little test session this afternoon, early evening, and we had some fun and learned some stuff about the guys, and we're set to hopefully record next week and get it out in the next week or two.
Your logo is backwards.
It is backwards, and we actually were talking about that tonight, and Andy Shaner said it is a conversation piece. People might bring that up, so there it is. There's the conversation piece to keep people talking about Back Talk.
But if you really look at it, the back is in front of the talk. So you really have to pay attention to the 3D marking, and everybody's in front of the talk. So if you look at it that way, it's okay, Tom.
That is not how I was trained to create a recognizable brand logo, but we'll go with it. I agree. It's a talking point.
As we roll into qualifying here, as the guys start to take their laps this evening. So, Richmond, VA, Virginia, 3/4 of a mile, 150 laps, 19 degrees of banking. And I heard and saw a lot of controversy yesterday, and I'm not sure if anybody else saw in the other cars, that they were shifting per lap. So is that something we are going to see tonight, and will that play a factor?
I haven't been in the car. I'm willing to bet it will be something we see. I think we'll see a lot of guys dropping into fourth, coming around those tight corners. And I think what it's going to breed, even though I think they'll be able to pull it off with no cautions, they're going to have some slippage on the rear tires there going into that higher gear and then trying to get back out of it on the straightaway.
I think we'll see a couple different strategies with that. I can see some people just keep it in fifth and and all that. But I guess we'll have to see. We'll go in the car with some of these guys when it starts, and we'll see what they're doing.
Absolutely, that's going to be a key point tonight, because if you're getting a faster lap, let's pay attention, at least for, once these guys start rolling through, maybe take a few laps, and maybe like Ryan and Devin Zimmerman, and then back in the pack a little bit, maybe more with like a Robin Pardon and maybe a Stephen Green, and see what those guys are doing as they're, because shifting, it gives you a little more horsepower, that's for sure. Keeps that engine revved up, but I'm not sure exactly how much you're going to gain, especially on 3/4 of a mile. But like I said, it's just something that they were doing yesterday, and it may save tires as well, because if you have lower RPMs, you're not really spinning those tires at a higher rev limit. So,
well, it helps you turn as well by getting the car to a higher RPM and kind of engaging that rear end. It helps point the car a little bit, so there may be some cornering effects there that are beneficial with the downshifting. But again, the tires are going to get snappy loose in that lower gear, and I think it's a risky move as a long-term strategy.
It could be, absolutely. But like I said, we're just gonna have to see how these guys play it out. They seem to surprise us every single week. So let's see what the veterans, the first responders, have for us tonight. As we're going down with 2:30 in practice, and on top of the leaderboard right now sits Ethan Thompson over Ryan Shelton over with a 0.01%.
Yeah, and these guys, these three guys we see be consistently fast, race in, race out. Shelton, Thompson, Zimmerman. You got to recognize there's a certain level of pride they have holding that pole position over all the other drivers.
And don't forget that is a point in the standings as well.
Oh, and that valuable point, of course.
I mean, you look in the middle of the pack as well tonight. I mean, you got Jeremy Gaiman and Andrew Biznetto always race next to each other. You know, just like 100th of a second off, and then you got Devin Zimmerman right behind him, Christopher Rolling just right there. I mean, yeah, Tommy alluded to it earlier. You almost could throw a blanket over these guys.
Yeah, times are very close, and I think equipment management is going to be the differentiating factor here. How well do you save your stuff? You want to be the first one to pit so you can get that track time back. It's going to come down to pit strategies and taking care of your equipment. And I think everyone here has speed tonight. It's going to be who can do that best.
Yeah, that is going to be the key factor. And not to mention, you're talking 10 laps in between tires. So if tires are a factor, especially with longer in the run, that's valuable time out on the track. But yesterday we saw 3 different strategies and 5 guys in the top 5 on 3 different strategies. So I guess at the end of the day, they're not going 400 laps here. They're only going 150, but how much will that play into it as well?
Well, we'll see. And again, I don't think we're going to have a high number of cautions. My bet is still on 0 because these guys are a bunch of clean drivers that impress us week after week. If we do start having some cautions, I saw a little bit of 3-wide racing at Richmond on Sunday. Those restarts were something else.
Yeah, they do like to take it a little bit, get everything they can when there's fresh tires, and that's what you're going to have to do here. Because as these things run out, tires start to wear. You know you're going to slow down, but you want that track position early, so that way it gives you that cushion in case your car falls off a little more than expected from the guy behind you. And look at that, Jeremy Gaiman pulls out the 3rd spot, Andrew Bisnet in 4th, and Devin Zimmerman qualifies 5th. So that's a little bit of a shakeup that we're not normally used to seeing. But hey, it's going to be a great race. I think a lot of these guys may have just as the tires get a little bit more worn in, wasn't a great qualifying lap, and they'll pull themselves forward in the race.
Yeah, and Jeremy Game and Andrew Bisnet, they bring speed every week. They haven't always qualified that well, but sitting up there in 3rd and 4th, I think these two, again, we see it every time we come here. They find each other. Well, they found each other right from the beginning, and I think this is going to be to Zimmerman's advantage, and we'll see as they get lined up here.
As a lineup, it's Ethan Thompson on top, Brian Shelton 2nd, Jeremy Gaiman in 3rd, Andrew Bisnet 4th, Devin Zimmerman 5th, Christopher Rawlings 6th, Chuck McDonald 7th, Robert Cochran 8th, Robin Pardon in the 9th spot, Stephen Green in 10th, Bradley Hunt 11th, and rounding out the field, Nicholas Smith in 12th.
Yeah, going into the chat, S Green says go number 44. I think I don't know if he's cheering for himself or.
Yes, he is.
And I know how many friends he's got out there now.
And a bug's in my ear. I forgot to mention when we were talking about back talk that we will be joined by all the other 3 members in the booth next week for back talk.
Yeah,
there you go.
For
that should be a lot
Watkins
of fun. Road course racing. There's a lot of dry spells there where there's not a lot to talk about as the drivers battle the track. So we're going to have some of the best talkers in the business up here, keeping it interesting.
And then our lovely guy that's not joining us in the booth tonight, Andy's. I'll say no cautions tonight. He's not in the booth. He's the one that brought the cautions. What you were saying last week. So I guess we'll have to see, Andy, how that works.
All right. Well, as we're rolling through, getting ready to fire these engines to get them started, going for 150 laps tonight. I think it's about that time to place all the bets on the table and wind them up, wind those little toys up, and let's get them rolling here. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I think it's time.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. We'll get rolling here in a minute, hopefully, and Yeah, here we go. We're gonna get our 1 lap to green here and get these guys stacked up and let them fly.
I wonder what the holdup was there.
I saw on my graphic here that Jim had a time pop up by his name, so I don't know if they had to wait for the full time for since our eye in the sky isn't racing. He's our eye in the sky. I don't if maybe he forgot to disqualify himself before qualifying was over. I don't know what happened.
Wrong form at the gate again, huh?
He was just
No,
getting
no, no.
ready.
I'm part of race control.
Yeah. I want to race tonight. But no,
Right.
I don't know what the holdup was. I think everybody else is on track. I think they just had to wait for the 2-minute countdown to end, and we're gonna fire off right here and go green. Well, maybe it's 2 laps. We got 1 more lap, I guess. I forgot we're going. Short tracks, we do 2 laps to green usually.
All right, we're getting the tires warmed up. We're getting the engines warmed up. Looks like it's a night race, not a day race, as they raced yesterday during more of the day. So the track's going to be a little bit cooler. They're going to have a little more grip. It's
Yep.
going to be a little tighter as well. But we've seen a lot of trouble off of turn 2. I haven't really seen that tonight. Have you?
Not yet. All that cool pavement out there, high horsepower cars on a short track. We're going to be in for a night of great racing.
Absolutely.
As Andy chimes in the chat, his money's on McDonald tonight.
Yeah, I like McDonald too. Chuck knows how to get it done because he likes to hang back a little bit as the pace car drives down in the turn number or on the pit road, and green is out. Green flag, 1 of 150 as Ethan Thompson now takes the bottom, and you got Ryan Shelton there on the outside. Ryan's going to take it a little bit high, go late on that break, try and get that track position going out of turn number 2. He grabs it and puts about a 3-car length lead now over Ethan Thompson. Andrew Business now going to look to the outside a hit out of Ethan. And he's maintaining that momentum on the top side over Ethan Thompson. You got Devin Zimmerman right there as well coming behind. So Devin Zimmerman now is going to take over the 3rd spot away from Ethan Thompson. And he goes and Ethan Thompson grabs it back now under Andrew Bisnet. So Bisnet, good little battle up front now for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So Ethan Thompson, Andy Bisnet looks like they might have just got together. If not, it was very, very close. Ethan Thompson now takes it. He's in that 2nd spot again, but Andy's fighting back on the outside, and there's Devin Zimmerman coming down. That dives it down underneath, going to get that run coming out on the back stretch now. Battle for 3rd and 4th in between Devin Zimmerman and Andrew Bisnet. Things looks like they're starting to get sorted out. Bisnet takes that high side. He's going to get that momentum. Devin's going to fall back just a little bit, but he seemed to have a big run going down, and there it is again. Zimmerman now. Oh, as Ethan Thompson goes up, taps that outside wall. Bisnet had to make a daring move underneath, and that's just going to easily give the position to Devin Zimmerman. So Andy's got a little bit of work to do to get back, as now it's still Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thompson, Andrew Bisnet, and we got a spin. Looks like Robert Cochran and Jeremy Gaiman got together coming out of turn number 2. So I saw a little bit of smoke back there. Ethan Thompson and Jeremy Gaiman got together. Caution is out, lap 5 of the race. Wow. What an exciting race so far, huh, guys?
Yeah, 5 laps in. Here we go.
There goes the 0 caution rule. So
It looks like Robert Pardon just got loose and got up in the rear
Robert
corner.
Pardon
And
got
then
into it.
they all got into it.
Robert Cochran just slams into Gaiman. What a shame. And then it looks like after the party, Nicholas
I
Smith.
think that was
there
Chuck
at the very
McDonald.
end.
Yeah, I don't know if they just gonna get woed up.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Chuck tried to just dive down a little bit.
Yeah.
No.
Nicholas
Okay.
Smith
Nicholas
couldn't get
Smith
woed
just
up.
choked up. Yeah, he couldn't get it woed up in time and just got into the side of Chuck. So
That happened. Fortunately, the 2 boys who were late to the party didn't party too hard, and their cars looked pretty clean coming out of that.
absolutely.
Got some big damage on the main players there.
Yeah, a couple of guys got some damage. Chuck's got a little side damage. Cochran looks like he's got that little bit of front damage. See if these guys take their quick repairs early or if they'll save them for later. Looks like nobody
It
hit pit
doesn't
road
look
yet.
too bad. That does not look too bad. Don't forget this is a short track, so they really don't need too much downforce. And if he can get up underneath somebody, that draft will take away that disadvantage of missing that front. So
Robert, just checking in with Robert Trask in the YouTube. When Andy said my money's on McDonald's tonight, Robert Trask replied, "Andy means he spent his money at McDonald's."
let the banner begin. There's something to talk about now.
Yeah.
So yeah, Robert Cochran, Jeremy Gayman, and Chuck McDonald have hit pit road.
And those that were involved in the wreck that were earlier, so I'm sure they're going to come down. Now, Jeremy did not take his quick repair last week, and that kind of hurt him later on in that run after he spun early. I guess because they have early cautions, and that kind of hurt his chances last week. Let's see if he's going to not
Oof.
take any, as he looks like he overshot his pitch just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess he's gonna take his quick repair now, but we'll see once. Maybe he's just getting new tires since Chuck McDonald looked like he took his. Cochran doesn't look like he took his.
No, Cochran, that's the second week in a row. Cochran got involved early, but he's rolling now, so he's not going to, must be just optionals.
Yeah, I think if you have optionals, I'm not taking repairs here. I'm saving that fast repair for a later incident in the race. But yeah, I'm going to be at the back of the field because of the incident anyway. Let's go ahead and get tires and fuel.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremy did take his. He's got that scrape on that was on his left side off. So it looks like Jeremy did take his quick repair this early. We'll see if that pans out for him.
Well, I think after it hurt him last week, he might be a little afraid of not taking one now.
We actually had that conversation last night. I think it was in the race, and you know, it's one of those things you can use it, or it might hurt you if you don't use it, but you might regret using it. That's the lovely thing about iRacing. We get that one fast repair, but when do you use it? You know, I think we've all been in that predicament. When do we actually use that fast repair?
Well, see, I'm
Right.
fortunate enough. Most of my incidents require a fast repair. So
Because we're gonna go.
process out
Back
of
to
it.
green. Ryan Shelton gets a huge jump over the
Oof.
field there. He
launched out of that.
He rocketed out of that.
He did spin
So
his
it got-
tires there.
No, he caught everybody sleeping. Andrew Biznett now comes back, and he's going to gain that position over Devin. I mean, Devin was just caught sleeping on that because Ryan just jet set out of that. So is now back where we started from the earlier laps, lap 5. We're back to Andrew Biznett and Devin Zimmerman now fighting it out for second and third. But now Biznett closes that gap that they had, and Devin's going to dive down, and let's see if he moves up a half a lane and tries to use that Biznett line going up a little bit. And you got Ethan Thompson there in 4. So Ryan Shelton, Andrew Biznett, Devin Zimmerman, and Ethan Thompson, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in our 5th spot is now Bradley Hunt. Christopher Rollings out in 6th. Robin Pardon in 7th. Stephen Green in 8th. Nicholas Smith 9th. 10th. Jeremy Gayman 11th. Chuck McDonald. And back in our 12th spot is Robert Cochran as we're going to finish lap 12. Going down and
So I don't know if it's one thing we touched on, but what's a better line here, the top line or the low line? I don't know if if we've talked about that or not. I don't know Richmond as well. I mean, you guys watched the race yesterday. What was it like yesterday? I didn't get to watch much of it.
You could make both lines work. I think the bottom's preferred. I know I would be on the bottom, but if you like the wall when you're coming down the straightaways, you can make that outside work.
It's good to know.
yeah, you can definitely make it both lines work. The bottom is a preferred line around here. These cars like it on the lower line. You can get that second groove working, but it's just not going to be as fast because there's a little bit more. I think you get more of a launch coming out of turn number 2. Low line, the top line, especially down in 3 and 4, maybe middle to top, you could probably carry a little more speed and momentum through. But the low line's probably going to be the equalizer on that. So there's really not a preference out of 3 and 4 as we're watching right now. Number 69 of Bradley Hunt take that higher line, and he's running right around 4 or 5 seconds behind the leaders.
Yeah,
Good job on Bradley Hunt. Started outside the top 10, got himself right there knocking on the door for a top 5.
I went to him to look like he got a little loose and looks like he got close to the wall. I just wanted to see if he had any damage or anything on him. We'll go back to the front and see what kind of battle we got going on. There comes Devin diving in.
Oh, Devin almost catches the back of Andrew Biznett there. I mean, he dove that car. And we've been seeing that a lot from Devin. So that's going to be a key factor, is to see how much of those tires are actually coming to play for Devin Zimmerman, because he's about the one that I've seen take it the furthest down into turn number 1 before turning that car. And it's almost been him a couple times there with Andrew Biznett on the outside.
Well, with that pair of 3s there sitting just behind that left front, I wonder if that wasn't a bit of an intimidation move.
The double three.
Yeah, hey,
Double
buddy, I
Intimidator.
got some speed. Look at me, look at me. Get Andrew driving in the mirror a little bit, and looks like it didn't work.
No, Andy's doing a great job holding it now in second spot. Now, if we can just get Jeremy Gaiman up there, but unfortunately, Gaiman with that incident now fell one lap down, so I'm not sure if he's got issues with his car or maybe he got a little bit loose or something. But yeah, Jeremy Gaiman showing one lap down now.
It looks like he might have a little bit more damage. Something happened to him. I don't know what actually happened, but he got more of that damage back. I'm guessing he got loose and maybe got one of them inside kisses, or I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes too when you have to go pitch. You're back at the back of the field, kind of maintaining the groove you had earlier on in the race. Sometimes a small incident can upset the whole race for you mentally.
Devin's
this
gonna dive down and
good.
take second.
That's a great battle right there, as you can see it. And that time it was in turn 3 and 4. We're used to seeing that move down in turns 1 and 2. And when he came to him, I thought we were in 1 and 2, but he really dove it down in between 3 and 4 there on Andy. So maybe Andy's car is starting to give way a little bit, as you see Ethan Thompson now fighting for that third position.
Yeah, it looked like Andy was maybe trying to try that high line and to see how it worked. Maybe, Devin diving in as hard as he had, maybe it just let him go and battle that later.
Yeah, Devin is really diving in. As you see, 3 lines there trying to take it through. Oh, Devin gets a little bit loose coming out of turn.
Yes.
That's going to pull those 3 together. So this is going to be a good battle for second, third, and fourth. As this has been since the green flag, as we're 22 laps in of 150.
That is a good way to get rear-ended there.
Very good way.
These guys just battling it out. Have a good little race going on right here. As Ethan Thompson now going to go on the high side. Andrew's going to try and put it down on the low side. But as you can see, that high line just isn't in just yet, even though there's a little bit of a more grip tonight than there would be during the daytime. And it looks like Biz does have some damage on the back.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe Ethan got into him. He had to whoa up a little bit. I'm not sure what happened. I just saw that when we were looking on camera there when he was going around one of the corners.
Well, I think he's got the damage on the front of their hood, so.
I was saying, it was not so many laps ago when Devin Zimmerman was wearing that rear bumper out, and some contact made it come back in. As we're now 1/6 of the way through the race this time by. I know we talked about fuel earlier. Did we say what the fuel window was?
Between lap 55 to 65. So there's a 10-lap window that those guys were saying tonight. I would expect them anywhere in between 57 to 62.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to split it into 3 here.
As we'll go into a car with Devin Zimmerman. Looks like he's riding around mostly in 4th gear.
He's got it in 4th gear right now. Let's see if he jumps up to 5th, going down that back stretch. There's tops it off. No, he is staying in 4th gear. So I'm sure he knows his car has a 5th gear, right?
I would hope so.
Man, just looking at those RPMs, getting almost up to 10,000 RPM there. If he gets right behind somebody and isn't getting some clean air on that nose, that could cause some temperature issues later on.
Ooh, so he got looks like a little bit loose coming out of that turn.
See him 9,000. He's about 9,600 RPM as he comes into corner entry.
He's at 19 degree of banking on that gyro cam.
Take a lap of Ryan Shelton and see what he's doing. See, he's up in 5th gear.
Ryan's up in 5th. Oh, we got somebody up in there. That's Nicholas Smith up there. Yeah.
Looks like riding around in 5th gear, not shifting at all.
As we see, Shelton in just chilling, keeping the engine cool there. Doesn't look like he's gonna break more than 8,000 RPM.
We'll go back a little bit further in the field. We'll take a lap with Chuck McDonald to see how he's coming around. We were talking about if these guys were shifting or not, and I mean right now Devin's the only one sticking in 4th gear from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, right now Chuck McDonald is hanging out in 5th gear. As you can see, those guys just
setting P6 right now.
Yeah,
ooh, Chuck's getting.
I don't think the gear selection is tremendously important as long as you're not making a lot of shifts. I think the RPMs are so similar between 4th and 5th that shifting would be a waste of time. But there might be something to turning that extra couple hundred RPM there in 4th.
Well, right now we can see the difference is just under 1.5 seconds in between our leader and Devin, Ryan Shelton and Devin Zimmerman. And as we noticed, that Zimmerman's in 4th gear, Ryan's riding around in 5th gear, so there's no shifting going on tonight. But if you look at the overall, Devin is using more fuel than Ryan at
Oh,
the
yeah.
present moment because of those higher RPMs. So
Right.
will that cut the window down even less than what it is? And with tires being an issue and pit entrance being an issue, how much is that really going to play into effect later on during the race?
Yeah, it could play a factor in that as it comes down to it. I guess we'll have to see like what kind of pitch strategy comes out of it with that early caution, and we'll see when Devin comes in. We'll see when Ryan comes in, and maybe Devin comes out with a different strategy when he comes out of pit road.
And we're right about 20 laps before we start seeing this pit cycle come through. A lot of green flag racing still to come.
Absolutely. As we're looking at Robert Cochran and Bradley Hunt there. Bradley Hunt, he like diamonds that corner. See how it goes in and then takes it up and then just kind of arcs it off. And that's I'm not sure. He's got a lot of damage on that car, so that may be some effect from an earlier incident that he's just trying to fight until he can get down to pit road.
Yeah, I'm thinking he must have some camber or something knocked out a little bit.
Because he can't keep it on the bottom there. It's middle to high, and he's really flirting with that outside wall there most of the time going down in turn 1 and 2.
Well, running with these next gen cars as we have, Jay. I mean, I don't know. You probably realized it. Maybe he got into the session late. Maybe he doesn't realize that when you have that brake bias a little bit higher, sometimes you can lock up and it doesn't whoa up as easy. You got to set that brake bias a little lower. So maybe that could be an issue. I'm not sure. I remember running a couple of these shorter tracks in our gas and go series, and I remember having to lower that brake bias pretty much as low as it can go so the brakes wouldn't lock up.
Right, as we see Ryan Shelton put Steve Green 10th spot, 1 lap down. So he's rolling up on Robin Pardon.
He's on rails tonight. I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe these lap cars can slow him up, get Devin up there, but it's gonna come down to how the runs go. Pardon hits the wall there as he goes a lap down, letting him by.
And Ethan Thompson got around Andrew Bisnet there, so that's...
Yes, he did.
So now it's Ryan Shelton, Devin Zimmerman, and Ethan Thompson rounding out our top 3. Andrew Bisnet will have a good run tonight in top 4. He was fighting earlier for second, so his car's starting to go away a little bit. 36 of 150. We've had about 3 or 4 laps of caution, flag laps, so I'd say probably about another 13, 14 laps before we start seeing these guys start to come in.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Christopher Rawlings setting P5, having a good run. Chuck McDonald P6, Robert Cochran P7, Bradley Hunt setting P8, the last car on the lead lap, and then Robert Pardon 1 lap down, Stephen Green 1 lap down, Jeremy Gaiman 1 lap down, and Nicholas Smith 3 laps down.
Yeah, checking in with the YouTube chat, Sharon O'Neill says, "Man, oh man, Jeremy cannot catch a break."
No, he can. I mean, it's just one of those deals that it's just it's racing. I mean,
short track racing.
It's just racing. Because normally we would see him fighting with Andrew Bisnet, and he did actually qualify right next to Bisnet again. It's just like I said, one of those racing instances, he can't catch break for anything. And I feel bad for the guys out there because they do put a lot of effort into running these things and putting on a show. But only 1 caution now, coming up on lap 40 as we're looking at Ethan Thompson. He's about 6 seconds behind the leader, so let's see if he can maybe short pit. Maybe he might want to short pit a little bit and then gain a little bit of time because you are going to gain, a few tenths, if not a second or 2 a lap until the leader pits.
Yeah, we definitely learned last Sunday when the big boys came here that short pitting will help you. The track position, the first person to pit tends to come out ahead through the cycle. And I just saw Steve Green jump in about 10 laps ahead of the pit window.
Yeah, he must have an issue. He jumped on way too early to make it a scheduled stop. So maybe him and Nicholas Smith had an issue, or maybe he just got into that outside wall and just couldn't keep it down.
That will leave a valuable point on the table, bringing Jeremy Gaiman back into the top 10.
Yeah, I think in that shot you just showed there, it doesn't look like Stephen Green just tried to maybe get out of the way and just tap that outside wall. It's going to put a little bit of tail out. So unfortunately for him, as we're 42 of 150.
I've been watching the last couple laps, and I didn't realize how much graphics went into iRacing, but you actually got red brake rotors as they go around some of the corners. I've been watching
Oh,
that in some
yeah.
of the cars. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, they're
As
heating them up out
They're
there.
heating them up out there. Their brakes are getting heated up.
All right, guys. 4 spot. Andrew Bisnet is now going to pit road at lap 43.
Well, that seems awfully early, but we
That
know
is
Andrew likes
earlier.
on an unusual or alternative strategy than the majority out there.
But that's 20 laps shorter than they're even projecting that they would make it. So
Hey, man,
being 4 spot, he doesn't have any damage,
you get
but
you get a couple cautions, maybe you can make it on one more.
he did have that back damage. But I don't think that
Yeah,
would cause too much issue.
He did not do the fast repair, so he just pitted on his own, and maybe he realized, hey, I'm gonna go a lap down probably in a little bit, and just let's go get some tires and see what he can change out, and maybe make up some time on the track.
That could be it too. Make it a 3-stop race. So if we make it a 3-stop race, that would, and the other guys make it a 2, you may be able to maintain a little bit more speed on the track through the overall through 3. I'm not sure.
We'll have to see
how
once.
you'd run it.
Do we have a comparison of the lap times they were running on fresh tires versus old tires?
Let's see.
We'd have to do your lovely stopwatch.
All right. Well,
We can do
if
that.
you do the qualifying runs, if we take the qualifying speeds, which you know,
Yeah.
there really is no qualifying speeds that they had. Okay, so Andrew Bisnet was running a 22.778, and a 22.873
So they're about-
during qualifying. So he's running 22.7s, and right now his lap should be. Let's see if we can get a good time here from our iRacing time. Last lap was a 23.019, so he's still a little bit off pace.
Probably the outlap too. That's how that works sometimes. You know, that might have been his outlap. Now he's getting up to speed. We'll have to see what it is after this lap. Oh, I guess we'll see if the strategy works, and that's the nice thing about short track racing. There's always different
Right.
strategies. As Ryan Shelton's just riding rails tonight, like he has been lately, and he's up about 8 seconds on Devin Zimmerman right now, and running a good race, running a clean race.
Yeah, that last lap that he ran was a 23.276, so he's about half
Oh,
a second off. Oh no! Oh,
Robert Parton got in the
Good save.
back of Ryan Shelton, our leader.
Heck
wow,
of
that was a good
save.
save.
Did y'all see on Sunday when the 48 and 99? Right.
Oh, good hit. That was a good hit too.
Oh,
The
yeah,
48
Robin
and
just didn't
99
expect him to slow down that much.
The 48 and 99 on Sunday tapped each other, and that 99 was so sideways it looked just like that.
Yeah, definitely shows the drivability of these next gen cars. Because
Yeah.
like the old cars, that would have been gone. So now with this rear suspension, these guys are finally figuring it out, and they're getting a lot of seat time within this series, and other series that we run in this next gen car seems to be like the one that we spend a lot of seat time in. So everybody's learning how to drive these cars for sure. As we see now, the leader coming in on lap 51, so that's even 4 laps predicted earlier. So I'm not sure where this is coming from, but let's throw this sheet out the window. So it looks like we're 50 to 55 for pit times.
Yeah,
Well, if you're running a 3-stop strategy, it's going to be 50-50-50. That's how you equally divide the race.
yeah, he's equally dividing the race. As Devin, pretty much everybody's coming down pit road at this time. Ethan Thompson. The only one.
Monkey see, monkey do. Yep, here comes Ethan Thompson.
The only one that has not hit pit road that was on the lead lap is Chuck McDonald. He should rotate around to the front. I'm betting Ryan took his fast repair there after getting that damage in the back, and
Yeah, Chuck McDonald.
Now,
getting
Chuck was
that
involved in that
point.
incident earlier, so he'll be able to stay out a few more laps.
Yeah,
because he did go in under that caution with Jeremy Gaiman.
yeah, I forgot about that. Way to remember that, Jay.
Yeah, and if we see a yellow on these cold tires, who's sitting pretty now?
Right.
Andy's pick for the race, McDonald's.
That's
Oh no, wait,
Chuck
that was
McDonald.
Andy's pick for dinner.
Now, don't
Yeah.
win the race, but for dinner.
But yeah, I mean, I forgot about that Chuck did stop earlier to get that repair done, and
This is why we have Jay up here. He's the brains of the operation.
yeah, I definitely not.
Yeah, you're the pretty face.
Well, I wouldn't even say that.
I'm the guy that knows all the websites for the sponsors.
Yep. You're the sponsor,
Jay
man.
does the rest.
Yeah, Jay's big brain tonight. But yeah, I mean, Chuck's running a good race, and so that caution came out about lap 6? They pitted about lap 8, so
Came out on lap 5, so they were
Okay.
lap 6, and then you got the quick repair plus the time. And they're saying 55 laps. You'll see Chuck probably pit within the next 5 laps. I
Yeah,
don't see him staying out there too much longer.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they get a bonus point for leading a lap here too, right?
Yeah,
in
they
this
do.
series?
I was gonna mention that a moment ago. He will get the bonus point for leading a lap, and who knows? So yellow flag in the next couple laps could really pay off for him.
Bradley Hunt is on pit road.
So is Robert Cochran on pit. So
Looks
and
like
Cochran was involved in that earlier
Oh,
incident.
he
too.
was
Oh
trying.
no, he missed his pit.
He was trying
He
to come to
missed
pit
the
road.
pit. Oh man, that's gonna hurt. So that little bit of gain that he had is gonna go away with that. Oh, and that's what you were alluding to. Oh, and he slaps the wall going into turn number 1. Man,
Yeah.
Chuck's like all out of whack right now. Just trying. I mean, just trying to get it woed up.
Tommy alluded to it earlier about getting on pit road, and there it was. You know, it's one of those things you got to practice, and he gets on pit road here nice and clean.
Yep, I love good short track racing. I hate pitting at my favorite tracks.
I'm with you 110% on that. Pit road is always a bugger to get up.
And the ones that have like 2 entries, it messes me up every time. I don't have time to think about that.
That's
Here
only
driving
what
a race
Bristol
car.
though, isn't it? In Bristol, I was just see Devin Zimmerman who pitted later.
Yeah,
He's now getting around Andy, who's on older tires.
yeah, he pitted. Andy came in a little bit early. I think it was like lap 42, so he is on older tires, and we'll see if that strategy pans out as Ethan Thompson sets fourth. Biznet's in third right now.
Ethan Thompson, did put himself a couple seconds ahead of Ethan.
Jeremy Gaiman now up to top 5. I think when they cycle through, he'll still end up a lap down, but sitting pretty there in P5.
Yeah, he was part of that early early caution too with that, so he should be coming in here shortly, I would think too, and everything should cycle back through.
I can tell you those two, either Jeremy Gaiman and Christopher Rowling, are both hoping for a caution right now that they can remain on the lead lap and get back their stuff together.
And so is Chuck after that incident, being a lap down now, being in that lucky dog spot, you know.
Yep.
Yellow flags are game changers.
They are. But as we've all came to knowing in this league of vets and first responders, that, you know, once they get spread out, you know, these guys are a bunch of respectful guys and they race clean, and, you know, kind of thought about the cautions earlier, like we were kind of saying, as Jeremy's going to go his lap down now. I think he's just trying to run out that fuel run as much as he can, hoping for that caution. These guys race clean all the time, though.
Yeah, he just went 1 lap down, so he's a lucky dog at the present moment. So if a caution should come out, but really, he's 63, 50, so he's right about at his fuel window. We should see him coming in with the next 2 or 3 laps to get his service.
Yeah.
Yep. See, several cars, multiple laps down now, looking at Nicholas Smith, Robin Pardon, and Stephen Green, the back 3, but still on track, you know, taking on that arduous battle, fighting for those ever valuable points at the end. Even though they might not take home a trophy tonight, every point they can collect will become valuable at the end of the season.
Well, I think one wise man once said, to finish first, you must first finish.
Correct.
And who was that wise man?
I have no idea. That's why I said a wise man said it.
Yeah. I remember hearing it too when I was younger too. I can't remember who said it either. I was hoping you remembered.
Was that the guy that played crew chief for Cole Trickle?
That could be Harry Hyde.
Yeah, good old Harry.
Yeah.
Well, I played that was the name of the character, I think, Harry Hyde. But yeah.
Yeah,
the
Robert
only thing
Duvall is the actor.
Yeah, there you go, Robert.
There we go. The only advice I ever remember him giving that I thought was good was ice cream.
Ice cream?
Yeah, they were having ice creams in the pit stall. They couldn't pit yet.
Yeah, he couldn't pit yet. And then he came in and pitted anyway.
That's why I'm in the booth, not playing crew chief because I'd be having ice creams.
No, you
Well, you know,
can't come in for service.
and speaking of crew chief and being in the car, you know, out there, those NASCAR fellows that, you know, race on Sunday and make the big money, they actually have a full team with them, and they actually have people that make decisions. When you're out here, you're on your own. You are crew chief. You're a driver. You're owner. You're everything. So it does make for an interesting strategy than what those guys really race on Sunday, and that's what we see a whole bunch of strategies come in because you're actually playing the crew chief as well. And sometimes it hurts because you're thinking one thing and other guys are thinking the other thing, and
Yep.
nobody's right at the end of the day except for the winner.
The only
And I would-
nice thing about being the owner of the car that you're in is you don't have to go home and fix it.
That's right. Well, I was
That's
gonna
another
say,
beauty about iRacing is you can wreck as many of these things as you want, and guess what? There's one just sitting there only a button push away.
for $12.99 a month, you too can do this. But I will say on the opposite end of the spectrum, Jay, iRacing does have built-in capabilities for actual human beings to play crew chief and to be spotters for people. And at some of the top series, like the eNASCAR Coca-Cola series, they actually have all those teams behind them doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. It is a simulation, and that's they do try and take it to the highest level, so that way they get professionals in here that visit tracks like COTA when they visited COTA. How many drivers do you know visit COTA when they go to Mid-Ohio? How many drivers do we really race at Mid-Ohio? You know, when they go to these road courses and tracks that these guys have never even seen, especially as rookies. That's where this service comes. The iRacing service is very valuable. You can go in, you can run as many laps as you like, get to know the track. Dale Jr. alluded to it. Yeah, a lot of guys come in and use it. I believe even who's William Byron. I said that he uses iRacing before every race that he goes to just to get, you know, the corner, the nuances, the way things it's supposed to drive. It's not necessarily the way it is in real life when you're actually behind the car. You can feel the car doing whatever, but to just get in and do some laps and shifting points, and you could try a whole bunch of stuff without, you know, wrecking anything, and that's where iRacing provides a valuable service.
Yeah, that's what it was designed for, and they do a good job at it. And not just that, even some old school names. I've seen Bobby Labonte in iRacing servers. You mentioned Dale Jr. He doesn't race anymore, but he races a ton on the iRacing service. And I think for some of the guys that aren't on the track every week, you know, using iRacing for practice, some of the other guys that aren't racing all the time are using that to relive what it was to be on the racetrack without all the dangers and expenses.
Yeah, because that's beautiful. You can hit a whole wall at 200 miles an hour here, and all you're going to do is get frustrated and get up and turn it off. And you hit a wall at 200 miles an hour in real life, you have a chance of, you know, visiting a place where nobody ever wants to go. So, you know, it's one of those things where you can relive your glory days. You can go back out. I've seen a few of the older drivers, you know, the older dirt drivers out here driving dirt. You know, just to relive, you know what I mean? And get a feel for the new cars. And don't forget, we got Bristol Dirt coming up. Bristol Born Dirt, baby, coming up in a couple weeks. I think next week. And who do you think? I think a lot of these guys are going to be putting iRacing through the use of Bristol Dirt with the next gen car.
Oh yeah. Yeah, looking forward to that. Hopefully, when they did it the first time in the truck series, and it was just dust everywhere, I was like, "Oh my goodness, they ruined it." But
I think it's
hopefully,
Easter Sunday, is it not? It might be Easter Sunday at 7 o'clock. Bristol Dirt.
let me call the kid and cancel the eggs.
Yeah, I think last year they learned not to do that race during the day. The track dries out really quick, and hopefully it looks a lot better this year.
Yeah, got to keep it wet and under the lights.
See, Robert Cochran, did he look like he dove down? I'm not sure if he was just letting somebody by, or it looked like he might have been jumping on pit road. I'm not sure, but he's back out on track, so maybe he was just letting somebody by. See Ethan Thompson now trying to get around him there.
And these guys clicking them off almost halfway through this race now.
Yeah, I think he's just letting people by. Nicholas Smith.
Yeah, we're just over halfway, 73 laps to go, so we're at lap 79.
Just trying to go through the field, and the guys I went on were in pit road. Nicholas Smith and Stephen Green.
Ryan Shelton, though, is back out front. He's been leading from the green flag, except for the few laps under yellow, where Chuck McDonald got his couple of points. Devin Zimmerman, I believe, led a lap. I don't think Andy stayed out long enough to get a lap. I believe it was just Ryan Shelton, Devin Zimmerman, and Chuck McDonald are 3 people who have collected their bonus point tonight as far as leading their race.
If memory serves me right, Ryan and Devin pitted on the same lap, so I don't know if Devin actually led a lap. Maybe lap, well, it wouldn't have been lap 1 because he started 5th. I don't know if Devin's actually led a lap. I think it's just been Ryan and Chuck leading laps tonight. I think. Not sure
Yeah,
though.
well,
I could be wrong too. I don't know. I just remember them pitting on the same lap, so that's why I don't know if Devin got that lap or not, that lead lap.
okay.
Quick check-in from pit road. Nicholas Smith's car was unable to continue. If Stephen Green pulls off pit, there is a point available to him.
There we go.
That's right. Every point counts, as we know.
Every point counts.
Every point counts.
At least that's what I've been told by a lot of people.
Robert Cochran now hitting pit road.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was trying to let people by or if he just couldn't get woed up and realized that he couldn't get in, but yeah, he is hitting pit road now.
Pitting on these short tracks is tough. It really is.
It is. It hats off to these guys that do it in real life, trying to get that car woed down to, I think it's 45 mile an hour here when you're riding around going X amount of laps at a speed and then trying to get woed down and trying to get into that pit stall, that pit road period is really tough.
As we see Stephen Green sitting behind him there. Stephen Green has been in pit for a while, so he may have required repairs he's still working on, although that car looks a little bit damaged on that front right. So maybe he's some requires. All he's got to go is a few more laps and, like I said, get around Nicholas Smith and pick up that valuable points because I was alluding to they're hard to get and easy to give away.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't recall where their lap down positions were, but I believe Stephen Green only had to make a couple more laps to take that point away from Nicholas Smith.
Yeah, I think it was only 1 lap difference if I remember right. 8 and 9, I think, is what I remember seeing.
Yeah,
as they said, currently they're both 16 laps down.
Quick shout out to the YouTube. There's a hi Uncle Jay from JoJo.
Hey Jojo, how are you, buddy? Yeah, Jojo's the other part of that great nephew. So there he goes. So good to see you out there, Jojo. Hope you're staying safe with Grandma. Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thompson, Devin Zimmerman, and Andrew Bisnett in 4th. Christopher Alling is now in the lucky dog spot. Chuck McDonald needs to get around him to get that lucky dog position back. Bradley Hunter in Race Reporter as in 7th. Jeremy Gaiman is now 3 laps down in 8th. Robert Cochran 4 laps down in 9th. Robin Pardon in 10th. Still out on track. 9 laps down. 11th spot, Nicholas Smith, which you alluded to, is out, and Stephen Green is getting some service. I'm sure he used his quick repair early, and then just getting what he needs. As Stephen Green chimes in, 5 minutes of required left. So he's got 5 minutes left of required repairs. Thank you, Stephen, for chiming in and giving us a heads up what's going on. So we got some action out on track. As it looked like
Chuck McDonald McDonald, they look like he got up in the wall up top. Yeah.
And that just choked up right there in front of Andrew Bisnett. I mean, Chuck is having a hard time keeping it up there.
And the leader, Ryan Shelton, trying to put a couple cars a lap down here. 2 names who we rarely see a lap down.
Yeah, Bisnett and Zimmerman.
So is that going to leave the lead to Bisnett with Ryan Shelton and Devin Zimmerman right there to collect 1, 2, and 3? So this could tighten it up quite a bit here.
Yeah, Ryan's just riding rails tonight. He's running good. Bisnett he did short pit. We'll see when he comes in and pits here in a little bit. He should be coming in the next 5 to 10 laps as well.
Yeah, he'll be.
Bisnett going 1 lap down, so there's only 2 on the lead lap now, and that would be Ryan Shelton and Ethan Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Shelton putting on an absolute clinic this evening. Devin Zimmerman, Andrew Bisnett, not names we're used to seeing a lap down, and here they sit right now. And Ethan Thompson probably a good 7 seconds from being in the same position himself.
Yeah, 61 to go. So we're coming down to pit cycle again for Andrew Bisnett. So Bisnett pitted early. I took lap 40, so the next lap would be lap 80. 60 to go. We're getting closer to his pit window, and then followed by about 5-10 laps after that was Ryan Shelton and Devin Zimmerman on their pit strategy that they have going on. As Chuck McDonald now is in pit road.
Yeah, I would say that Ryan and Ethan, Devin, and them guys that all came in at lap 50 will be coming in about lap 100. So about 9 laps they should be coming in for their refueling and tires. And we've been saying it a lot where pit road is, you can win and lose races at these short tracks, and that'll make it interesting if who can get on and who can get off pit road the best. Anything can happen.
That is very true. And as we saw, Chuck McDonald just got high, and I'm not sure if he was just trying to stay out of the way of the leaders and just got high and tapped the wall. But that's really a dangerous situation that could go out for anybody, and that could actually breed caution, especially if you're trying to get out of somebody's way. You tap that outside wall and come down in front of him, like we saw him get in front of Shelton. That could have been disastrous there for a leader again.
Yeah,
Another week.
Checking in with the YouTube chat, Nicholas Smith weighed in. Did not have a great performance tonight. He's feeling a little discouraged, so hopefully next week he'll be able to get a few more practice laps in ahead of the event and put on a show out there.
Yeah, and he did chime in and said won't be racing next week. So we hate to see you go out there, Striker. I think next week we're at the Glen, correct? Is that our first road racing event?
Yeah, road racing event.
Our first handful of right-handers.
Just a couple of them.
Just a few right-handers at the Glen there. The Glen's always a fun track to drive.
Oh yeah, it is.
Making all these lefts, we need to turn right to unwind ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how these guys do at right-hand turns next week. It's always interesting to try, and some of these guys are road racers. I know Ryan Shelton is. I guess Devin Zimmerman is hitting pit road right now. I don't know about Devin and Ethan if they're road racers or not. I guess we'll have to see next week on what these guys bring to the table.
Yeah, I know I've seen Ethan Thompson in some other TDR leagues where they ran on road, so I think he probably has some chops. Devin Zimmerman, I don't know that I've seen him run on many road courses. He tends to only run the Veterans League with the TDR family. So he's a little unpredictable when it comes to going to a road course, at least from the perspective of us up here in the booth and the boys in TDR.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Devin is, we expect to see him up top all the time, but since Ryan's come in, Ethan Thompson, and he's having one heck of a night still. He's hanging out in second, third, in the top 3, but he's just not. I don't know. There's something off about his performances the past few weeks. I'm not sure if it's the next gen car, bad luck, or what's going on, but he's. We usually see him fighting for a win, and we haven't really seen any tight finishes in between Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thompson, or Devin Zimmerman. When it's been a win by by a large margin this season.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's Devin Zimmerman necessarily making mistakes. I think Ryan Shelton and Ethan Thompson have just been up to par with Devin's skill. They've been putting on a great show, each and every night for us. And the past couple nights, they've just done a better job.
Looking at it, Devin Zimmerman did short pit here. Maybe he's trying to make up some time on track, and we'll have to see how this pans out. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Andrew Bisnett has taken his second pit stop yet. So he's extending this pit run a lot further.
Yeah, he is extending. He is one lap down, so something should happen right now. He's in that lucky dog, so maybe he's just holding on to that lucky dog spot. Maybe he's going to try and go back onto the Ryan Shelton.
As I speak, he hits pit road.
So will be 50 laps to go.
Yeah.
So, he should be good to go at the end.
Pit soon, too, to take that point away.
Yeah, that 5 minutes should be about done.
Well, when you got 5 minutes, what's 7? He might have gotten a nice cold glass of water.
Maybe he went and got some ice cream. He heard us talking about ice cream as he was sitting in here, and
I love ice
He
cream.
just needs one lap, so just complete one lap in the next 50, and he's got that position. So it's unfortunate to see. And Striker also, Nicholas Smith writes in, says, I have training, that's why I can't make it. So, well, good luck on your training. We do appreciate everything. Obviously, training is more important than iRacing, anything real life that you guys do out there to help us in any way, shape, or form. So we understand that. So we will be missed, though, Striker. Too bad. We'll see you in 2 weeks then, and maybe you can tune in and watch with your guys that are training and see how they show them what you do on Monday nights.
Absolutely, and nothing's set in stone, but I have heard a rumor that the Vets League will be moving to Thursday nights for Season 6.
Yeah, it's a rumor right now. I know Jeremy, the head that runs this league, he's been reaching out to him. Sounds like maybe we'll stick on Monday nights. Not quite sure yet what they're going to decide to do, but We'll see what happens here in the next few weeks or in the next season, but I have not heard a final word on that. But as Jeremy's in pit road too, along with Ethan Thompson.
And Ethan Thompson looked like he took a quick repair because as he came in,
Yep.
that front got a little bit straightened out more than normal as he's rolling back around, and that's going to put well, Andrew Bisnet did come in. That
Yep.
puts him to Devin Zimmerman. He pitted early too, did he not? So
Right.
Devin Zimmerman, I believe, made his pit
Yeah.
stop, did he not?
Devin Zimmerman pitted about with 52, 53 to go. He came in a little early. I think he's trying to make up some time on track with the speed. And right now, I mean, Christopher Rawling hit pit road. Right now, Ryan Shelton, I think in this cycle to finish the race, is the only one that has not hit pit road. He should be coming in shortly as everybody else is 2 laps down. I guess we'll see if the time they get with these new tires make up some time and maybe make this a close race. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, Ryan Shelton, you can tell, is not pitted. He's got 2 laps now on the entire field. So now would not be a good time for a caution to come out, that's for sure. Everybody needs to mind their P's and Q's until Ryan can make the pit road and they can make up some of them laps.
It's probably why he's setting out as long as he is. Maybe he's hoping for that caution. Everybody else take the waiver on, only be 1 lap down, and make it really interesting.
Well, those rotors are getting awfully red. I'm willing to bet he's using a lot more brake than he was when he was on fresh tires.
You know, we were riding around with Devin Zimmerman earlier. He was the only one really looked like he was setting around 4th gear. I'm going to go over to take a lap with him and see if he's still doing the same thing, and it looks like he is.
Yeah, he's still in that 4th gear.
He looks like he was, I mean, when we were going through some of the cars there, it looked like he was the only one that we were talking about shifting, and looks like he's sticking to that strategy.
I wonder if he's using a little bit of that high RPM engine power to move the car up and not rely so much on the brakes, kind of trying to keep some of the heat out of those front tires and make them last a little longer.
As the leader hits pit road.
Here he comes.
Clean stop, get the service. Look like he got on pit road pretty good on the second pit stop.
We have a caution.
Caution is out. Caution is out. So that is going to, with Ryan on pit road, Ethan Thompson now. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Wow.
I was trying to find the crash, but I can't seem to find it. I go to pit road for a crash. That doesn't sound right. So yeah. So Ethan Thompson would be on the lead lap. Right now it looks like Devin Zimmerman would get the lucky dog.
Interesting.
As Devin Zimmerman hits pit road, so he wouldn't get the lucky dog.
Andrew Bisnet, Christopher Rolling. No, Andrew Bisnet also hit pit road.
So there won't be a lucky dog.
What?
Well, if the lucky dog hits pit road, then I don't think anybody gets the lucky dog, if I'm correct on that.
I am not sure how that works because
I left my rule book in my other broadcast studio.
I guess we'll find out because Christopher Rawling did not pit, so he might get the lucky dog. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, this is going to be I don't have a clue what's going to happen until they get all this sorted out through this cycle.
And then Devin and Andrew both repitted again. So they're back on pit road.
But maybe they're thinking about getting their fat lap back the old-fashioned way. But with Ryan just pitting, that might be kind of hard. I guess we'll see what kind of waiver rounds we get. I see there is a couple cars in front of Ryan Shelton right now. Ethan Thompson is ahead of him. So, well, he's the only car ahead of him right now.
And he should get the waiver round because he's in front.
But on the scoring loop, he is on the lead lap. I don't know what's going on here.
I don't know. The scoring loop is all messed up because it's Ryan right now is 50.99 or no. And Ethan Thompson's 51 seconds behind him.
Yeah. So. We'll see what happens here.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there watching and you have a moment, please say a prayer for the iRacing automatic position control system. Because, man. So Ryan was getting tires when the yellow flew.
And Ethan got his lap back while on track, while Ryan was getting the. He
was on the back end of that second cycle, so everybody was 2 laps down because he had come by them 1 lap before he went in.
Right. So everybody was 2 laps down when he went to pit road.
So I think everyone's going to end up one lap down with one potential lucky dog.
Which could be Ethan Thompson because he was the only one.
But
Then
Ethan,
again,
I think when the caution came out, Ethan got his lap back according to the scoring loop.
Mm.
But he is
We
50
need-
seconds
Right, because-
behind him in front of Ryan Shelton. So will Ethan Thompson get the waiver round?
and will Christopher Rowling get the lucky dog?
Right now he would be in the lucky dog position, but like I said, I'm not sure how this all scores, and I'm thinking that we're going one lap to green with Devin going to the Ethan Thompson's getting the waiver round.
Ethan gets a waiver round.
Yep. So he'll
So
be
there's
on the
only-
lead lap. So there'll be 2 cars in the lead lap, and Ethan should have to start at the rear of the field.
Ooh, Ethan's going to have a fight.
And then you got Christopher Rowland, Andrew Bisnet, Devin Zimmerman. So this is more drama.
Right.
We're gonna have to rename this as the lug nut turns, you know.
As I'm on Ryan Shelton, he went around the pace car as well.
And we're looking at 3rd through 6th. They're all on the same lap, racing for position when the green flag drops, despite them showing a lap down from the leaders.
I am really confused what's going on here. I've never seen the leader
idea
take
what
a
is
waiver
going
round. Because the pace
Right.
car is nowhere to be. There's Ethan.
All right, this has got to extend the green though. All right, they got to extend the car.
They've been extending it. I don't even know where. There's the pace car. So now we got Jeremy Gaiman going around the pace car.
Okay, Gaiman's going around, and Gaiman was too. Is everybody getting a waiver round because Ryan was on pit road when the. So that means that the entire field would have to get a waiver round to go back to the positions that they were in when the green flag flew before Ryan took his pit stop.
Looks like Chuck McDonald is falling back, so he must not get the waiver round.
Well, as they get this sorted up, I wanted to bring up a fun little tidbit. So if you go to YouTube, you can look up any NASCAR race from like last year or even this year. I think they post them a week later. You can watch the full race, the entire coverage, but instead of commercials, you get to watch the drivers jockey around the track and figure out where they're supposed to be.
Well, that's kind of what
And
we're watching right now.
They're just as bad at it as the iRacing community. Like you'll see cars like just stopping, waiting for cars to go by, and they'll pass like 7 cars ahead. Like they get it done in time for the green flag, but it takes a minute.
We might have to talk to race control after this and get the story what was going on here.
Well, I think it's more. No, this is definitely an iRacing.
No, I mean
sport
because
now. It
he's
has
gonna
nothing-
understand what's going on. Because I think they keep their. I mean the lights are out on the pace car, but they're not double filing up. Ryan Shelton to me should be in the lead. As
Yeah,
now
we got
Chuck
a waiver
McDonald's getting the waiver round, and I think
Chuck
he went in the
got the waiver
pits.
What is it, one waiver round per lap? What is going on here?
Was that Chuck McDonald? Or was that Christopher
Okay,
Rowland?
so now
Okay, now
back
we got
on the
another
pit
one
there.
going around.
now I think they're manually giving these guys waiver rounds, trying to get the field sorted back out, and they keep throwing out the caution. I think they're trying to get it
Yeah,
sorted
they're-
out.
They're definitely extending this caution period out because they should have gone 2 laps ago with the green, according to with the 1 lap to green that we're seeing on our telemetry there.
So Ethan Thompson would be on the lead lap. He would be the only other car on the lead lap from what I'm seeing here, but he will start from the rear of the field, but now he's still passing cars. So will he be... We'll have to see here how this all sorts out.
Yeah.
Well,
I
now
have
he'd
no
be in
idea.
second spot, so he should be outside of Ryan when they take.
But technically would Ethan get the lucky dog here, and he'll have to take start at the end of the longest line. That's what I'm guessing is going on here.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on. As
Looks
the
like-
pace
I know
car
the
is
pace
now
car's
down. I
off.
guess I got us, and they're
We're going
Ryan
green.
Shelton.
There we go. I don't know. We'll have to figure this out at the end of the race.
All right, so as it shakes out, basically Ryan Shelton maintains his lead. Ethan Thompson got the way around. He's the only one on the lead lap in second, 5 seconds behind towards the back of the field. Christopher Rowling, Andrew Bisnet, Devin Zimmerman are your top 5. Chuck McDonald, Bradley Hunt, Robert Cochran, Jeremy Gaiman, Robin Pardon, who went to the pit now, and Stephen Green is back out on track in 11th, and Nicholas Smith.
Went and got that extra point, 33 laps down. Shout out to the point man.
As we are tight,
All right.
tight to the field again, makes it interesting. It's kind of one of those things. Hey, this is how it goes.
Okay, now here's an interesting tidbit though to keep an eye on. In between 11th and 10th, there is 11 laps between those, and right now Robin Pardon is on pit road and he's going laps down. So Can Stephen Green gain 2 positions by coming back out?
Yep, it's a heck of a win, or a quote win. When you can get 2 points being 30 laps down, I mean, I consider that a victory.
Anytime you can get a point, it's a victory.
Absolutely.
As Jessica chimes in the chat, hope it's been a good race, enjoying a beer, watching it from the bar, from Paul Vosberg, number 21. We miss you, Paul. I hope all is well.
Paul. Absolutely.
He's only Jessica on the weekends.
Well, you got to do what you can do on the weekends, and I can understand that's probably the only phone he's got available that's got the service. So we appreciate Jessica, we appreciate Paul, we appreciate everybody who comes out and races with us, and we do miss you, Paul, out here. Got to have everybody. I'd love to see everybody that's in the series that we see week in and week out, even the part-timers. At least one race, all of them out here on track at once, just to put on one heck of a show.
Yeah, talking with Paul when he had to take his leave, they moved his schedule around, and he's out. I think he lives in Nevada, but he's a firefighter in California. He's right on the border there. They're preparing for the season of wildfires if they get them. So thank you for your service, Paul. You do an amazing job. We miss you here, but we understand.
No! Go back. There's somebody just the wall. Looks like Robert Cochran got around.
Yeah, looks
again.
And he'll
Cochran
be the
just
car stalled out there.
And there's no caution thrown.
Single car spin.
There were 2 cars involved, but Cochran so Cochran got around.
Yeah, looks like he got underneath Chuck, and Chuck had to roll up and dodge Gaiman and just got into Cochran.
Oh, it was Ethan. Yeah, it looked like Ethan, and then Jeremy got up on him, and it just a check up there. Wow. 27 laps to go, and we have Race Control did chime in. It says there was an iRacing glitch on getting everyone lined up, and it was a debris caution. So apparently there was some debris out on the track, and that was a caution.
Must have been one of those hot dog wrappers.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean that pans out. I mean Ethan Thompson still set second. I mean that got tough luck for Robert Cochran as that happened, but.
Yeah, and that's just one of those deals, but whew. Talk about a heart racing moment, especially for Ethan Thompson, who could have been potentially bad for him as well.
Yep.
So Ethan Thompson's still 10 seconds behind Ryan now with 25 laps to go.
Yeah,
Zimmerman sits in the lucky dog spot now, got around Christopher Rowling, and Andrew Biznett got around Christopher Rowling. So Andrew Biznett's having a great run up in 4 spot tonight.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, them 3 have been racing pretty tight all night, and I mean, get that caution, Devin get back on the lead lap, bring Ethan up by Ryan. It could get interesting, but I think we've had our 2 cautions, like we've kind of said earlier what we thought would happen, and Ryan's putting on that clinic again tonight.
Ryan always puts on a clinic. Devin Zimmerman takes over his spot when. Those 2 kind of flip-flop, and then when they're not there, Ethan Thompson will collect it, and then he'll be the one up front. So, but it's good, seeing these guys out here rolling and just week in and week out, just putting on a show for us. Go in car, we show you how these guys do it, and then we try and imitate it, and we can't do it. The only thing we can imitate is Tommy Aber.
Upside down.
You know what they say, imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery.
If I could imitate this guy, I tell you what, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, that's for sure.
He's running a good race tonight, except for that one incident he had with car getting the back of him. Other than that, he's kept it clean and ran a clean race, and that's what you need to do in these.
I'm just surprised he hasn't shifted, though, considering, and you see right there, like at the just past the start-finish line, he does tap out on that telemetry in 5th gear, and then that's when he starts to mow it down just a little bit. So
yeah, he's right at 9,900, and we watched Zimmerman in 4th. Zimmerman was topping 98, 9,900, sometimes knocking on 10K.
Yeah, riding around that 4th gear. I mean, we'll see what he does on the front stretch here, but
yeah, see, he tops it at the start finish line and holds it well down, well past where I just saw Ryan Shelton just get past it. He hits that topper, it reds out, and then he backs off. So I guess it could be a good point, because you do race with your ears. I mean, you listen to that motor, so you get into that rhythm.
So The one thing I forgot that's in this next gen car is on the dash. It does give you your lap times. I mean, like right now, Devin Zimmerman's running a 23.53, and Ryan Shelton's running a 22.39
Yeah,
or
it's just about two
23.39.
it's about 2 seconds to, or yeah, what?
23,
2/10.
23.28, 23.53.
It's just about 3/10 of a second off.
So it's kind of interesting when you start looking at times. I forgot that was a feature in this car.
To be honest, when I'm driving this car, my eyes really aren't looking down at the dash.
No.
I just see. I
But
hear
it's-
the engine. I look for the
Yep.
red that flops up, and that's when I know that I'm at my top end and I can back off. Or I don't have time to be, looking down and seeing my lap times. That's for sure.
That's the
I'm not-
sound it makes when I should push the brakes.
I just hope I don't hit the eject button as I'm doing it.
I'm still looking for that slingshot engage button.
Yeah, they didn't put one in these cars. That's for sure.
Nope.
A little bit of shake and bake.
Hasn't been in any car I've been in, and I've looked.
Yeah, I've looked too.
So this tire wear that we think that we have going on, there really hasn't been too much of a fall off. As I thought there'd be a little bit more than there was, especially on a 50-lap run. But there doesn't seem to be all that much in these next gen cars on iRacing.
Yeah, I would have thought that too. And again, tires weren't a massive issue when we saw the real cars Sunday at Richmond. But I mean, tire wear was a factor there. I just think that the iRacing tire model isn't sophisticated enough to really replicate the real life world. With these cars specifically being so new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there'll be a little updating with that as we learn, they learn with us and get the tire
Well,
model set.
There better be a lot of updating.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there's going to be plenty of updates coming throughout the year. We might have the final one by the time they reach, 2 weeks after they go to Homestead at the end of the year. After the championship, we'll probably get our final update once they have all the data from this year. But everything is new. Like I said, there's tire wear has been like one of the biggest things this year, which you never really heard of for the past, for the longest time. You never heard them have anybody concerned about tire puncturing, tires blowing like they did. I mean, the 80s, that was like a big thing. I was at Darlington one year and
Bias ply
I was-
tires.
bias ply tires, and I was sitting right down as they would go. And back then, the back stretch was the front stretch, and as Daryl Waltrip just passed me, that tire blew, and he just went blowing down in the turn number one. Everybody thought, he was done for, but he walked away from it. But yeah, I mean, that was back in the 80s, 90s, and nowadays it's kind of like all the mechanical stuff that you used to hear, guys blowing engines and things like that. That's all in the past, and so for tire wear to come back and tire being blown is an issue. It's kind of fun to see, but at the same time, I know it's it's frustrating because that's another part of it that you don't really expect. You know what I mean? One of those things that you can't control.
Fun as a spectator, but probably very frustrating as a team owner, a driver, anyone on that crew. There's nothing you can do to prevent a tire failure.
No, and like I said, back that since the big tire wars between when Hoosier and Goodyear fought it out, I mean there hasn't been too much of an issue after that. Goodyear, did dominate and come out and prevail that war, and since then, 2000s on, like I said, tire wear hasn't been an issue. Goodyear does bring a good tire, especially everything that they've had to deal with because this is new to them too. So to bring something to the track every week, you're going to have to expect a little bit of. It's a learning curve for them as well.
Yeah, we'll be coming in 8 to go this time by the line.
Ryan Shelton is definitely putting a hurting on the field tonight over Ethan Thompson, Devin Zimmerman, Andrew Biznetter, one lap down in third and fourth. Christopher Rolling in fifth spot. Chuck McDonald in sixth. Bradley Hunt in seventh. Jeremy Gaiman in eighth. Robert Cochran ninth. Stephen Green came back out, and he's still rolling around. Robin Parton is in 11th, and I'm not sure if he has enough time to get it done. Actually, Stephen Green did pass Robin Parton, so he gained 2 spots. So there you go. So congratulations to Stephen for hanging in there. So I would hang out till the end, Robin Parton and then Nicholas Smith.
Got him a top 10 at a position through attrition.
And barring the car blowing up or anything happening to Ryan Shelton with 5 laps to go, he's going to be rolling around here, taking it easy, hit your marks.
Yeah, nice and careful, clean lanes ahead. I don't see any lap traffic too close to him.
No, it's
It's
not nothing in this game.
it's his race to lose.
And he is out of South Carolina, so he ain't too far from home, so he can continue as his does his little burnouts and can drive it right on home and be home by midnight.
Yeah, it's good race by Ryan tonight. Good run by Ethan as well. And we had that late caution, that debris caution according to race control, and made it interesting. Had to run a few extra laps under caution to get the field sorted out, but everything's shaking out all right.
And there's a big shakeup in the points, so because now Andrew Bisnet is having a great run in 4th spot, and Jeremy Gaiman just had another run of bad luck tonight, and there's a 4 spot separation, something that's the biggest separation I think we've seen all year out of those two.
Yeah, and you got Christopher Rowling in there claiming some points from a whole host of drivers behind him. Being a part timer, those are points that will go to that team. And they won't help out anybody who's here week after week, so that shakes up the points a little bit too. These part timers have the opportunity to come in and really shake up the points pretty aggressively by guys who aren't going to be there week in, week out.
Absolutely, and got 3 laps to go, and coming up on Bradley Hunt. Bradley's just going to move out of the way, give there plenty of room for the leader to get by, just run his race. 2 to go this time by.
Counting down the laps.
Yep.
Good race by all these guys tonight, though, and it's always been fun.
Yeah, like I said, points are going to be a big shakeup. Every point matters.
Every point matters.
Ryan Shelton, congratulations on the win.
Don't say it yet. Last lap.
Oh, we got 1 lap. I'm sorry, I'm counting.
Couple more corners.
I'll sit on my hands. I'll hold it.
Wait for it now. 2 more turns and you can say it. There he comes.
There we go.
Now, congratulations, Ryan, on your win. Now wait for Ethan Thompson to finish. Come across the line here as Ethan is now rolling across right now, and he's gonna spin it through the grass there. So,
well, he picked a good time to get loose.
But no, Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thompson, Devin Zimmerman, Andrew Bisnet, Christopher Rowling, top 5 tonight. So congratulations to all those guys. Congratulations to everybody out there.
Yep, Chuck McDonald, Bradley Hunt, Jeremy Gaiman, Robert Cochran, and Stephen Green rounding out the top 10. And then Robin Pardon in 11, Nicholas Smith P12, and Jim Downham in race control gets his points.
Yeah, he shows up every week. They disqualify him, and he still gets a little bit,
Well, you saw he filled out the wrong form at the paddock this morning. They were going to put him on track.
See Shelton burning it down.
Well deserved to Ryan Shelton. I think it's time we talk to the gentleman who couldn't quite get to Ryan Shelton's rear bumper. I don't think anybody could tonight. He was absolutely on rails.
Absolutely.
Let me see if I can get Thompson dialed up here. Hey, Ethan, Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us, buddy?
No, I can't hear you at all.
Look, I make the jokes, all right?
I guess I beat you to it this time.
You did. And speaking of beating you to it, Ryan did beat you to the finish line this evening. I don't think anybody had anything for him tonight. Well, what was the race like out there? What was your strategy?
It wasn't too bad, other than the fact of just being slower than Devin. But I mean, everybody would, or Devin, I meant Ryan. Everybody was slower than Ryan though, so. I guess after seeing numerous people spinning, strategy is just don't spin. I think it's really easy in turn 1 to drive it too deep and spin out, and it's really easy off of 4 to spin out, just getting back into it. I mean, there's a couple times where I had to save it, but that's really all it was, and it's just it's really easy to miss your marks here, and especially on a long green flag run, you kind of it's not the easiest to stay focused and sit there and hit the line, hit marks over and over and over and over again. So
Yeah.
obviously Ryan was really good at that. So congrats to him. And I'll take P2. I mean, can't complain.
And I'm curious, you and Devin both, you guys give Ryan Shelton a run for his money most weeks. Tonight, I mean, absolute clinic he put on, even on the two of you guys who are some of the other superstars that are up there with him up front every week. Did you learn anything from him being behind him? Were you close enough to him to kind of catch a breath of that beauty?
Not even like I've honestly most of the time whenever I did see him, it was like a full straightaway from turn 4 to turn 1. So I didn't even really get to sit behind him enough to even try to figure out, okay, this is where he's having a lot of success compared to me. But
Well, I'm sure you guys will talk in the drivers' lounge later on, and everybody will benefit a little bit from what he's done. But he's the one we got to talk to next. Jay, Dustin, you guys got anything for Ethan before I let him go?
I just thank you for your service. Congratulations on the top 2 finish. Glad to see you out here again, and keep them rolling because one of these times you're going to get that second win of the season. I can feel it. You almost got it tonight. So good job.
thanks again, guys.
Yeah, good run, Ethan.
Thanks.
Take care, buddy.
You too.
Get him sorted out back to where the other drivers are, and let's go ahead and talk to the guy that all the other drivers want to talk to right now. Get Ryan dialed up here. Hey, Ryan, Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us?
Got you loud and clear.
So, how many people in the drivers' lounge are asking you about what you did tonight?
We had a few during practice, but then I think once the race started, everybody kind of had a feel for what they had, and just he's got to send it from there.
I mean, you sent it better than anybody out there on track. What do you attribute to your success? Is it as simple as just hitting your marks and being consistent? Were you conserving equipment? Well, what got you to where you are tonight?
Well, the biggest thing I think was just being able to, like you say, consistently hit your marks, hit your breaking points. I know a few of the guys had some issues getting on throttle, but once you get into a rhythm, running lap after lap after lap after lap, it's really easy just to kind of just sit there and just run your lap, run your race. And then so the first stint was really that. The second tire run, um, I really wanted to focus on saving equipment a little bit more because I knew it was probably gonna be a little bit longer. So once we started saving our tires a little bit better, I was able to run away from most of the rest of the guys and just kind of run my own race.
And then there was that yellow while you were on pit road. You waited, you waited, you waited, you got down, and then that caution came out. How worried were you at that point?
I wasn't too worried because I saw Ethan was right in front of us on the relative, so I knew that there wasn't too many people who were on the same lap as me. So I wasn't too worried, but I know Ethan, he's stolen a race from me like that before, so I was definitely worried.
Well, congratulations on your win yet again. You just come in here and, like I said, you're dominating this season so far. You put the other 2 superstars, Ethan Thompson, Devin Zimmerman. These guys seem to be 1, 2, and 3 on the relative, but when it comes to racing, it seems like one of you guys either has bad luck and the other one runs away with it, or vice versa. And tonight it was just a pure outrun, and you just outrun everybody. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's how it seems to be. It seems to be that one of us will have a really good race, and another of us will have a really terrible race, and then just the other of us 3 just is somewhere in between. So just it seems to be we can't just have a race where we're all 3 without problems. And I think if we can all 3 be without problems, then I think it'll be a really good race for the entire race.
You definitely sound like a Joe Gibbs racing teammate for sure. It's always 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't plan on wrecking my teammates.
Right. Well, I don't think you plan on wrecking anybody out here either, so we're all good.
But speaking of teammates and winning races, do you have any sponsors or anybody you want to shout out that helped you get you where you are?
No, other than my wife for letting me race.
Oh,
She
Well,
wasn't
there
too
you
happy about it tonight, but
I didn't
she
see her on the car.
Not. I don't know if I'll do that.
Well, I'll have my people reach out to her people, and we'll see what we can do. But Ryan, congratulations! Thank you for the show, and thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ryan.
Mhm.
Well, I meant to move Ryan back down to the driver's lounge, but I accidentally took a trip down to pit road myself. I'm back now.
Okay. Well, how you doing?
I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
well,
Tommy disappeared. What?
well, we got 3 and 4 we can talk to, and 5 if they're available. So if you can maybe get one of them, see if they haven't reached their hauler yet, and bring them up.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a quick word with them.
It looks like Zimmerman's already packed it up for the weekend. He's heading home. I can dial up P4 Andrew Bisnet. Let's see if we can get Andy on the radio here. Hey, Andrew, Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us, buddy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, man, you were looking real fast at the beginning of the race. The rest of it didn't really work out for you, but you still pulled home a P4. What were you able to learn out there from what some of the other guys were doing?
Well, I tried to take what I could from the NIS race because I ran that one Thursday night. So I kind of already had an idea in practice where my braking points were going to be, what tires were going to be like. I started out, I was able to keep up with Ryan just a little bit, but I got too excited, and after a while, I realized I was going to cook my tires a little too much. This wasn't a race. This once again wasn't a race. I was really going to try to screw around with fuel too much, but it's just get out there, try to not slide the car too much off of turn 2 because that's a really big spot. Turn 2 and turn 4 were both a little loose, but turn 2 especially because you're trying to get as much speed to because it's a pretty good passing zone back there.
Yeah, you were looking really, really sporty those first 20 laps. I mean, you were running right up front there. We noticed you were the first one to pit. You pit a little early. Was that part of the alternative pit strategies you've come to be known for?
Kind of. I knew that the tires were going to be going. The fall off for me was over a second per lap, and just trying to see if I could maybe try coming in early, maybe try to save a little on the tires and some of the turns, and uh, try to keep it so I can keep some of the mid stint speed up. I didn't gain much, I didn't lose much, so I mean in the end it all kind of worked out just the way the pit stops came. It did start bringing some folks in as I kind of imagined it would. But as soon as I hit my number where I knew I was safe by a few laps, I just decided what the heck, we'll give it a try.
Well, that second thing you stayed out a little bit longer, was that planned, or were you just holding out to see how far you could actually go to make it? So we didn't have that 3-stop
I was
strategy.
comfortable enough with the car where I felt that, as long as I got to under 55 laps, left about 55, 56 laps, then it wouldn't be a problem. And if I needed to save, if we got close on caution, because the problem wasn't fuel, it's that, if we had a caution, which we ended up having a caution, but if, everyone was going to come in if you had more than 20 laps on your tires anyway. So it's either we go green all the way and everybody's on similar Warrior tires, or we get a caution halfway and everyone comes in anyway. So there wasn't real. I didn't feel that doing too much with pitch strategy was going to really make or break a whole lot in this race.
So I've got one last question for you. I know you're a big fan of the Nürburgring. You like to do a little bit of road racing on the side.
Yes.
We go to Watkins Glen next week. Who are you worried about at Watkins Glen?
Honestly, myself. As Dustin has seen, because he's he's been on my team for the last 2 endurance races. Just trying to keep myself in check, trying to make sure I hit my marks and have fun, as we say. But I mean, road courses are interesting because sometimes you don't know. We get a league where like this, pretty much anybody in this league can win on any given day, especially if it's going to be all it takes is one accident just past pit row and you're towing for 3 minutes, and
Yeah.
a track this big you're stuck down laps and it's not going to be easy to get them back too. So if I could just come out clean, it is my favorite race road course other than the Nürburgring. I do love that just because of the challenge, but Watkins Glen's my home track, and I've done pretty well there in some of the leagues and official races. So it's a real good high speed track that I like. So
Yeah,
I can keep myself clean, and I'll be happy with that.
It's my second favorite road course. It's a ton of fun to drive. It's very forgiving. You can take stock cars there, and they're not, completely wild out of control. You can still find some speed.
Mhm.
So I think we're going to be in for a lot of excitement next week. I know you've got some chops on the road courses. We know Ryan Shelton does, Ethan Thompson, Devin Zimmerman. I don't know that I've seen him on a road course. I think he might be a little bit of a wild card.
Well, he's one of those guys where until he proves me otherwise, he's someone I know I'm gonna have to beat no matter where we go. Maybe with the exception of super speedways, but it's well, we'll find out next week, and I'm hoping it's gonna come out with a. I would love a win there. I really would, but I mean, it's come out in the top 5, top 3. We'll take it.
Hey man, you've been looking
Okay.
good week after week. A win's coming your way. You just gotta put that little bit of extra fight in and go get it.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to save my tires too. Yeah, I'll take it any way I can get it these days.
Right.
Well, you did pull yourself ahead of Jeremy. You separated yourself by 3 or 4 spots tonight, so that'll give you a little bit of a comfort zone going into next week in case something should happen. So something else to look forward to and put in the back of your mind this week, so maybe you don't have to overdrive it.
Yeah, he's a pretty good road racer too. I've watched him in the endurance races that we've done. He can move a car around a road course too. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him up there leading a couple laps too. So we'll see next week though.
Yeah, next week
Absolutely.
definitely going to be interesting. Again, thank you for the show tonight and thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for what you do for us as well too. I hope you guys have a good night.
All right, you too. It's our pleasure. So Andy brings it home 4th. I mean, that was a good run for him tonight, and he showed strength all night long from the drop of the green flag all the way down through. So I mean, if you look at the overall standings tonight, it kind of shook out kind of the way practice did as well. So
One person we didn't get to talk to tonight that's been in here as our in-car reporter. We never did pull him in. Brad, are you still with us? Maybe not. I was just gonna bring him.
I'm here.
I know what he's doing. He's watching some TV show while he was racing tonight.
We never had a chance to bring you in. There was so much action going on out there. And the only question I have for you is, does listening to us talk about the race help you run it?
A little bit. I mean, they're all kind of, I guess, well, this person's running this way, this person's running that way.
You learn a couple different strategies. Hey, this guy's pitting now. Okay.
Oh, leader. Oh, here comes the leader. I was like, cool. Maybe I can get a lap back.
So you were kind of listening to us. Were you shifting at all? We didn't get in your car.
Yeah, I was trying different things. I heard y'all talk about Zimmerman, like just running 4th the entire time. I tried doing that for a little bit, and then I noticed like on the front stretch, like I'd start hitting the chip about like right there at the flag stand. So I was like, okay, no, I'm just gonna shift there, and middle of the turn, I'll downshift.
I wonder if being able to hear us is bad for your race because you get to hear all these different things you can do.
Well, I'm gonna try this. Oh, that was a bad idea. Thanks, guys.
It's a direct link to the broadcaster jinx.
right.
Right.
Well, so far our luck has been 2 cautions, and that's been it.
Right.
Yeah, I think this race tied the other one that had cautions.
Which again, we blame Andy because he jinxed us with the 0.
Absolutely.
But these are more spread out than last week at WWT. So you had 2 early ones, and then you guys went green all the way. Here, you had one early at lap 5, and then there was a good length of time before you got another one. So kind of another strategy that you had to pull into effect, especially when the leader went down on pit road at that caution. So
Did I lose everybody?
what's that?
Oh, never mind. I thought I lost everybody for a second.
No, we're still here.
Nah, we're all still here. All right, well, Brad, I hear Mickey Mouse joined you tonight in the car again. So we're going to Watkins Glen next week after Ryan put on a clinic tonight. I mean, absolute clinic tonight. Ethan Thompson pulled out in second. He was the only car that remained on that lead lap with him. So it was just a matter of, I think, track position. If he would have been a little bit closer, maybe could have given Ryan a little bit more for his money. Devin Zimmerman 3rd, Andrew Bisnet 4th, Christopher Rawling in 5th, Chuck McDonald 6th, Bradley Hunt, who we're talking to now, in 7th. Jeremy Gaiman in 8th. Robert Cochran 9th. Stephen Green 10th. Robin Pardon 11th. Nicholas Smith 12th. And that rounds out our field for this evening. We're going to Watkins Glen next week. Tommy, any last words?
Well, I think we should run at the sponsors backwards. Let's go to Dustin Back Talk coming up this month. You guys are gonna have your first episode, right?
Yeah, sounds like we might be recording in the next week, and then next week in the booth we'll actually be joined by the other 3 members of the team in the booth here for Watkins Glen. Gonna be a fun night. Can't wait to have the guys in the booth to have them talk about back talk as well. Gonna have a good time, and hopefully everybody could tune in on Back Sports and on Apple Podcasts when it launches.
Absolutely. Shout out to B&B Wraps for providing the season trophies, everything they do for us over at Tyler Daniels Racing. Back Charities for helping put the fun back in funded. To everyone out there in YouTube land, we will see you soon.